Welcome back everyone to another multiplayer battle for Still Faith Overhaul 2. We're looking at another 2 versus 2 and that guy looks rather cheery. Check him out. He's like, man, I'm having a great day. Anyway, we've got on one side, not only the vampire counts, but greenskins too. It's a rather unlikely alliance. Nearly as unlikely as having, well, Bretonnians and lizardmen fight together. Now let's go over the army right now because on my channel we're relatively new to covering Still Faith battles. I'll go over a few stats over here. So first off, beginning for the greenskins, we're looking at Night Goblin Spears. We're looking at a very low melee attack of only 21 and melee defense of 28. They will be completely destroyed. But the cool part is they do have a debuff where they're going to get rid of a lot of armor piercing missile damage, speed, weapon damage, armor piercing damage, and missile damage for 10 seconds. But that application will be applied over and over. Not only that, they have a very high number of 220 spears. Now, if we go look at the overall number, they're nearly at 5,000 men on their side. We clearly have one side of numbers and one side of more elite troops. Anyway, let's go move on right now. They are anti-large. They have a weapon strength of 26. Now, their bonus when fighting large creatures, only 5, but that is okay. Back here, we're looking at more goblins. Now, they do lack, poison, but they do have more armor. Okay, back here, we have what? Forest Goblin Spider Riders. Now, they have a decent speed of 78. A lot of mounted creatures will be faster than them. But again, that poison can change a battle completely. They do have a charge bonus of 26, which will be applied to their melee attack and damage when charging. And they do have a weapon strength of 41, which means they also have a bonus when fighting large creatures, a bonus of 8. Let's keep on looking around right now. Over here, we're looking at a Night Goblin War Boss. Look at that, a Gobbo army, and I do love my Gobbos. Okay, so he's got poison attacks right over here. A very high melee attack of 53, a melee defense of 51, a weapon strength of only 472, but again, he's only a tiny Gobbo. But look at him, he's adorable. And you should check out the band Necrogoblicon if you want your goblin tunes. Anyway, we're looking at a few abilities over here, like Spite of the Bad Moon, to give units expert charge defense, meaning that if we use that, and our units stand still, which will allow them a period of time to brace, they will negate the entire charge bonus of an enemy unit moving in. You need to stop your units from moving if they have a charge defense. Okay, let's keep on looking. We do have a typical wall, a stand your ground to buff up melee defense and leadership. Okay, so walls are not map wide. It'll only impact units nearby, but that is a plus 50 to melee attack. Over here, we do have a Tormentor Sword, which means that we're debuffing melee attack and units cannot move. Over here, we do have a Wah as a passive ability. That means they get what then? They get a Mighty Knockback, meaning that they're able to cause extra damage when they knock enemies back, in addition to a plus 5 to melee attack, and a Frenzy to deal more damage, but it will go away if his leadership goes down by 50% or under 50%. Over here, we do have an Orc Shaman for a variety of magic, like Foot of Gork, which is a really powerful AoE spell. It's able to kill a lot of units. Then here's Irgo, and that gives 56 melee attack. And over here, Fist of Gork, buffing melee attack, weapon damage, and melee defense. And then we have Power Adawa to increase your power recharge rate, in addition to Frenzy and other stats like that. Okay, so you're meant for spellcasting. Back here, we do have the Arachnarok Queen, who has armor piercing and poison attacks, a massive health of 13,000. Beyond that, we're looking at a range of 115, so it's really not too high, but we do have a missile damage of 52 and a poison as well, in addition to a lethal poison for 15 seconds, which will deal a small amount of damage and debuff weapon damage, speed, and armor piercing damage, in addition to having a melee attack of 64, meaning that a lot of these attacks here will hit. Now, this creature can be hit a lot because of its rather low melee defense of 42. But it is large and does have an armor of 150. That's incredibly high. Back here we do have more goblins. And let's keep on looking again. We do have black orcs that do have shields. And let's go look at it real quick. They have an armor of 126. They're able to block 60% of all small arms fire. And let's go look what they have over here. A weapon strength of 46 and melee defense of 53. Now their melee attack is not very high, but they do have a lot of buffs for that. They do have a charge bonus of 25. And over here is Juggernaut, meaning that they have a high resistance to hit reactions and knockback resistance. So they'll be able to attack and not many will be knocked down to the ground. It's really good. And over here, more Night Goblins, and on the front lines, a Hammer of Gork, which has armor piercing missiles and the Great Green Wallop. Okay, so that will debuff foes whenever they're hit. They will be blinded for 10 seconds. It will reduce their melee attack, accuracy, and melee defense, and they do have armor piercing as well. Okay, that is the majority of our goblin army. From what I can tell, there could be more somewhere, but oh wait, there's always more. Back in his corner, look at what we have. Many goblin Wolf Rider archers. These fellows are quick. They have a speed of 102. They're able to do a lot of damage just by being there in the rear. I mean, if you're having to worry about that, they're eventually going to get something fairly shiny. Okay, we're not quite done yet. Let's go into slow motion in just a little while. But on the front lines, we do have zombies, and these are great meat fodder. Look at their health. 19,360. Now over here we have a regiment of renown called the Tithe. But over here, what do we have? We have zombies, and they have still a very high health of 16,000. So they will be there forever. All right. Beyond all the zombies as fodder, we do have fell bats, which are, again, more fodder units, but they're able to fly behind enemy lines, and they're able to entangle archers or whatever is lightly armored. Back here we do have skeletal spearmen and warriors too. Again, more fodder. They are shielded. We do have a Claw of Nagash, which is a Mortis engine. And this guy can do a lot of damage. Not only that, he's got magical attacks, and he's able to debuff an enemy by 30. And not only that, he's able to help nearby units regenerate hit points. He causes terror, and there's just a lot to him. There's even over here a tome, which will increase power recharge rate for any type of magic at all, and a high charge bonus of 56. Okay, and if they're nearby, they will take damage over time. Not only that, what else do we have over here? We've got corruption, causes damage to nearby units, heals nearby units, improves recharge rate. Now, it will take more damage from fire damage. Back over here, we have the Königstein Stalkers, and they have 14,000 health, which is pretty good. I mean, for a basic unit, that's pretty darn good, and they look darn cool too. Okay, beyond that, we have a Corpse Cart with the Unholy Lodestone, which can cause a few issues for our foes, such as being able to regenerate more health of nearby units, and that's really good. And over here, we do have Vigor Mortis, which will improve melee defense and melee attack. Down here, what are we looking at right now? We do have Binding Winds of Blood, which will give more melee attack by +5 and more leadership by +10. In addition to regeneration. Back here we do have the Graveguard with great weapons, and they have an armor piercing of what? Let's go look at that. A weapon strength of 44, bonus of fighting infantry of 10, and an armor piercing of 26. Okay, more skeleton warriors again. And it looks like we're about done outside of looking at Heinrich Himmler. He actually brought in Heinrich Himmler, the madman. Okay, so we have a spellcaster here with a lot of spells, such as being able to bring in Krell. We're not going to go over every spell, but the madman did it. He brought in Heinrich freaking Himmler, the oldest, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the oldest Warhammer character. He would be #1, man, which sounds about right. Okay, so let's go look over here real quick at what we have for our foes. Or not my foes, but their foes. The Blessed Temple Guards, Blessed Spawning of Tapak, they have a high magic resistance and perfect vigor, meaning they will not tire out of battle. They have resilience too, so range attacks will not do a lot to them. They do have a weapon strength of 55, and if we go look at it, they have a bonus of fighting large creatures and armor piercing. Okay, so a 15 when fighting large creatures and all that. For a few passive abilities, they have a, wow, okay. So miscast chance goes down by 25%. That's really good. You won't take damage from miscasting. Back here, we do have Kroxigors, and they're really darn cool. Okay, so they are armored. They have armored piercing. They have a weapon strength of 115. They do have a bonus when fighting infantry of 15 and an armor piercing of 80, which is very darn high. They do have a physical resistance of 50%. They're able to negate that much. Over here, we do have a Blessed Connoisseur, and they have a staggering, a very high weapon strength of 532. They do have a bonus when fighting large creatures of 40 and an armor piercing damage of 375. They can go after cav units or just other large units and do a lot of damage. And they do have a charge bonus of 76. Okay. Let's keep on looking over here. We do have Saurus Warriors and a Saurus Scar Veteran. Now that's pretty darn cool. We do have a hero that's able to also ride on a mount and is able to cause terror and armor piercing. That will not impact the undead, but it will impact the greenskins. So we're looking at a weapon strength of 494, a charge bonus of 65, and again, another physical resistance of 15%. We're looking at a Feral Bastiladon, which is quite tanky. It's able to cause terror, and it does have armor piercing attacks as well. It's not nearly as powerful as what we're looking at over here, like a Connoissaurus, but still, it's able to tank and take a lot of damage. Okay, we do have Lord Mazdamundi for a lot of powerful spellcasting. He's here for his chicken tendies and Mountain Dew, and he's about to get it. Okay, So we do have more Saurus Warriors back here, more Kroxigors, and over here, let's go look at the Bretonnians. We have a bunch of poor people who are being forced to fight. Battle Pilgrims, they are unbreakable, and they do have Frenzy. They do have a melee defense, which is pretty darn good, of 40. They do have a decent weapon strength of 44, and a decent melee attack of 37. So they'll be in a fight for quite a bit of time. We're looking at more Battle Pilgrims again. Actually, he brought in quite a few of them, and behind them, Foot Squires. These guys are anti-infantry. They're kind of like great swords, but not nearly as good. They do have a health of 9k. They have armor of 75. They do have a weapon strength of 36 and a bonus when fighting infantry of 8, in addition to armor piercing damage of 21. Back here, we're looking at a Blessed Fil Trebuchet, and they have magical attacks. They can shoot 25 times, and they do have armor piercing. And back here, we're looking at some Spearmen at Arms, a cheap fodder unit, but they do have anti-large and a charge defense against large foes. Okay, let's keep on looking now. On our right flank, we're looking at Mounted Yeomen, and at the head, a Damsel of Life Magic. She's going to be healing up, and you can see that he's picked out a few items over here. He's going to be healing a lot. He's got Earthblood, Awakening of the Wood, and Life Bloom. Every time he's able to cast a spell, it will heal up nearby units. Okay, then we have the Grell Knight, a very powerful unit. You want to use him when you can. So he's really brought in, oh wait, hold on. We got a charge bonus of 106. That is amazing. That will kill. And a weapon strength of 75 with a bonus of fighting large units of how much? 20. Okay, so a speed of 80, that's pretty darn fast. Let's keep on looking around. Or actually, I think we're largely done outside of looking at their leaders who are nearby. We're looking at Albrecht de Bordelot, and he's right over here. He's flying right now on his mount. And so we're looking at anti-large and causing terror, a charge bonus of 120, not a very high weapon strength, but the guy's actually still pretty good. And back here we do have Royal Hippogriff Knights. They do have superhuman vigor, meaning that they will not tire out. They do have a charge bonus of 125 and a ward save of 10%, negating all damage, and a weapon strength of 260. Okay, so now that we know about all of that, let's go into the battle right now and check things out. All right. So it looks like right now we have the Bretonnian Cav that's beginning to move out. Those Wolf Rider Archers are beginning to move in behind their foes. Let's see, what else do we have? The Hammer of Gork is probably attacking right now. The Fell Bats are moving in, and I wonder where they're going to go and what they might do for the very beginning. But these two sides now are beginning to move in, and they're about to clash. A few hidden units are now revealed, and that would be our Night Goblins who are about to charge in. Again, I don't know how the battle might play out. There was one attack by that Blessed Fil Trebuchet, quite a few missed. And the Hammer of Gork is now launching a few attacks back. So they're about to clash. Let's see here. Those Fell Bats are already falling apart right now. They're taking a lot of damage. They're trying to go after that filled Trebuchet. Let's go check out the charge in right now. So we have right now the Greenskins moving in, and they're about to bash in some freaking heads, which is what they're doing. Let's go ahead and move through the battlefield as we watch them all move in. Those zombies are taking over everything, but we have Connoisseurs that are also moving in. Okay, so we're looking over here at these guys taking some damage from that Nagash engine. Those Connoisseurs are moving back right now. Those zombies will keep them busy. So if you're using zombies to keep them busy and they're taking AoE damage from that engine, well, that's a great combination. Over here, those Grell Knights are falling apart. Look at them, they're being debuffed. They're being completely surrounded. Normally I wouldn't go to slow motion, but we need to go over what is happening right now. So first off, is that a comment of Cassandra, or what are we looking at? We're looking at Fist of Gork over here. They use a comment of Cassandra right over here to damage many zombies and many of the undead. It might slow down a little bit because, let me tell you, there's a lot of units here right now. Those Battle Pilgrims right now are also being debuffed by a Tormentor's Sword. So we know that he's using his ability that he has from his weapon from his war boss. But over here, it's really incredible to watch these Grell Knights, these poor Grell Knights die. They're not dropping yet, but they're about to. They're being surrounded by cheap units. What a great call on their part. They're being debuffed, and we have one group that's broken. They've killed only 31, but they're about to lose all of that. Over here, we do have damsels who are trying to get more, or that one damsel trying to get in more magic with the Arcane Conduit and Power Stone, but they're unable to save these poor Grell Knights who are about to die from all of his units. And right now, here comes Albrecht trying to help them out. Already, those Battle Pilgrims are being debuffed. They cannot move. They only have a melee attack of 11. They're not going very far. Usually, I wouldn't want to go into slow motion, but it is a very fast battle. Okay, so they're using a Curse of the Midnight Wind right over here to debuff a few units of the orcs. That will not be enough. That Arachnarok will do a lot of damage. The Royal Hippogriff Knights only have 6, but they have killed already 84. Let's keep on looking. It's a large battle line, man. The Croxes, they're going in and killing a lot of zombies, but they're only zombies and many of them are going flying. So we have quality versus quantity, and we shall see how that might play out in the future. We do over here have a bunch of Saurus warriors who are trying to flank, and it looks like that is working. They will need to get after that engine unless they want to take more damage. Now here comes over here that Scar veteran who's only gotten 4 kills, but he's going after that Claw of Nagash and killing many zombies in the process too. There's that Blessed Connoisseur who's still attacking right now for 15 kills. So it looks like over here on the left flank for the Lizardmen and Bretonnians, they are going to be able to beat this side pretty fast. I don't think the vampire counts can keep up. We're looking at Lord Mazdamundi using spells right now. Let's go check things out. Or who else is going to use this spell over here? We do have Heinrich Kimmler. What is he about to use? It's about to be a line spell that's going to charge right through these Battle Pilgrims, and that's a great call. That will wipe out one group and maybe even do more damage to another group. Okay, let's go look over here now. We're looking at a banishment wiping out several of these greenskins and zombies too. What about that? Here we go. Now it's being used right now. See, if we didn't use slow motion, we might miss it. 2-dimensional shadows. Yes, very frightening. But that is taking out a lot of these Battle Pilgrims. But thankfully, he did use Shield of the Old Ones, giving him magic resistance of 44%. They could have taken a lot more damage, but they did not, thanks to Lord Mazdamundi. Okay, those Girl Knights are pretty much done for right now. Albrecht is having to get out of here. Those Girl Knights here are still staying, but again, how long can they linger? How long can they stay? Let's go back over here. We have Black Orcs who are still attacking another banishment. He's using his shield by Lord Mazdamundi. We're checking out these units that are in a staggering line battle right now. We still have 7 minutes left. I don't want to go in slow motion anymore if I can help it, but it might happen here and there. Okay, so they're trying to go after, again, a Claw of Nagash, a very expensive unit. Back here, we have Wolf Rider Archers who are currently attacking Mounted Yeomen. They're not going to get very far. And that Trebuchet, well, their crew is now gone. They're still trying to chase after these guys, but these archers are getting actually a decent amount of damage done. They're bothering them quite a bit. And again, let's go look over here. Wait, are they actually holding? Did I mistake that? They've got over 100 kills. They actually held their ground. They defied all odds. With Albrecht and their damsel, they were able to beat back that entire horde. I thought they were done for, but they defied my prediction there, which is quite good, and I love that about Still Faith. You can defy predictions. And now they have, right now, that Orc Shaman under attack by those Royal Hippogriff Knights. That is a great call on their part. Another comment of Costandora over here. You can miss quite a few spells, but there is that annihilation that is being wrought on by Lord Mazdamundi. He's able to use his Ruination to do a massive amount of AoE damage, which he did. We're looking at a Curse of the Midnight Wind, debuffing more enemies now as they fight. Let's go look over here where we have more undead still fighting. I thought they would be done by now, but it looks like they're really not. Those Wolf Rider Archers are still attacking. But yeah, over here, they're having a pretty tough time. The zombies and all of that are moving over here to go flank these Saurus warriors from behind. He's using his numbers to stay around. That Hammer of Gork has 55 kills and is still attacking Blessed Temple Guards. I think they're doing okay. Those Blessed Connoisseurs are still nearby. So is that Feral Bastillodon. Let's keep on going down the line again. If I'm moving too quickly, again, let me know and I'll fix it in the future. But for now, these Battle Pilgrims are not getting very far. They have their kills, but they're outmatched by a bunch of Black Orcs. Those Grunnites are still fighting. I cannot believe they stayed to kill over 200. I thought they would be done for right away, but they're still fighting over here. They're killing goblins and everything else. I don't like to always zoom in. I do like to zoom in a lot, but I'm trying not to do that as much. That way we can kind of keep track of the battle. So back here, we're looking at Royal Hippogriff Knights that are moving into the back line, going after the Hammer of Gork with Albrecht de Bordelot, who has 72 kills right now. So it's really a tit-for-tat battle. I think the Greenskins have the edge right now, but I'm not sure how far that will go. We're going to find out. We do have a big win over here. They beat the Bretonnian infantry. They did bring in a lot of infantry, and now they're moving it into the middle, but we're looking at more debuffs again. So that really diminishes their overall melee attack. They can't really hit hard. So hopefully the Lizardmen can break through their infantry, but it looks like they're heavily outnumbered already. We do have more of these Wolf Rider Archers who are moving in from the back, doing a little bit of damage. They're pelting them. And back over here, we have another powerful spell being used, Awakening of the Wood. It's not really that powerful, but it does enough damage to bother this group, this Hammer of Gork. We have more goblins moving in after the Grell Knights, who are moving all over the map. They have 234 kills, and they do not tire out. Okay, so one wing has won. Here's another banishment right now. We can go check it out in close range. There's Royal Hippogriff Knights need to get out the way. And there's that Claw of Nagash. You can hear the sound effects non-stop. Those Connoisseurs are doing their best right now, trying to win this battle. We've got a Blessed Connoisseur and a Scar Veteran. They're going after that Mortis engine, which it's now beginning to break. A lot of these Saurus warriors are beginning to frenzy and lose control, so they're having a pretty rough time. And don't worry, I won't always go over stats if I've gone over them before, but I can go over what might be a good idea. So really, I think the Bretonnians may have been having an easier time if they brought in maybe cheaper infantry. Battle Pilgrims are alright, but they do tend to die pretty fast. Foot Squires are holding over here, so maybe more cav would have been a better idea. Even if they do have anti-large, it could have done a lot more damage with cycle charging. Okay, Arachnaroks are over here. They've got it, here we go, and Lord Masamune was using his ability to resist a lot of magical damage. But you can see them now, they're still attacking and damaging a lot. Let's see, we have Albrecht moving in. And another powerful Ruination spell being used, attacking and destroying many of these units. That Feral Bastiladon has been debuffed for a period of time. It has 50 kills right now. There's that Corpse card still causing regeneration for nearby units and that Night Goblin War Boss. And over here, let's go look at what we have. Blessed Connoisseur is still fighting in the midst of it. We'll go into slow motion briefly just to check things out, but just look at that. We've got Albrecht and Lord Mazdamundi sitting on his chair being like, "Where's my second tendies?" He's got over 500 kills. He killed a lot. But when you have nearly 5,000 units, is that really enough? And look at that. They have 1,400 left. Our enemies, or their enemies, have over 300 left. I have no bias on who is going to win or who should win. The Girl Knights are finally done for. They got nearly 300 kills, but they took a lot of damage. Back here we do have a Damsel and also Goblins defending that Hammer of Gorg, which now has 61 kills. And we can just see what a brawl right in the middle. You wouldn't be able to have this type of brawl in vanilla, I believe, but in Silph, you could have a brawl just like that. Okay, so the Glaw of Nagash currently has a stand your ground, getting more melee defense for all nearby units. We do over here have some units that are fleeing in fear, like the Wolf Riders, that Claw Engine. Let's see, where is that at? Is that finally gone? No, it's still here. 69 kills and still causing damage over time and causing regeneration for other units. Now these connoisseurs are still fighting. They're still staying in the battle. Here comes a few Kroxigors, and they have 144 kills, and Lord Masamune is still using magic. Again, 500 kills is nothing to sneeze at. It's 500 less to fight for his main army. We do have more Lizardmen moving in, and a few Spider Hatchlings from that Arachnarok Queen that have been summoned in to cause a distraction, and more of his Wolf Rider archers, who again do not do a lot of damage, but they're very fast, and they can harass a unit of Saurus warriors, which is what they're doing right now. Alright, let's go look at the other part of the map before we go focus on one side. These Black Orcs are moving back from these Spearmen, who they have since killed. They have over 200 kills. They slaughtered Battle Pilgrims. That was a great counter. I think if maybe the Bretonnian player fought the Vampire Counts first, he would have had a much easier time. Yeah, if they traded places, they probably would have had a much easier time. I feel like the Lizardmen would have been able to take on the Greenskins a little bit easier, and the Bretonnians would have been able to take on the Undead and still maintain some numbers too, especially with his Grell Knights. His Grell Knights would have killed so many. As I call up Nagash, we've got a few warriors rallying way over here, some goblins that are coming back in. So we have just shy of 3 minutes left. The Arachnarok Queen now has a wall going on and is currently not moving into the battle. Those connoisseurs are taking more damage. I mean, again, they're being focused on by a bunch of Black Orcs who are probably supported by a bunch of numerous units. These Saurus warriors are still fighting some Black Orcs. So back here we have Lord Mazdamundi, who's under attack, and unfortunately, he's being debuffed by a bunch of Spider Hatchling. He's not able to move quickly. That Damsel's still moving through. Let's go check it out real quick. We've got another AoE spell. Again, another Shield of the Old Ones, which is such a powerful spell to negate enemy magic. Those connoisseurs are still going forward right now. Let's see real quick. There's Tithe, the zombies are still holding up. They have 37 kills, which is really nothing to sneeze at for such a tiny unit, for such a weak unit when it comes to power. That Claw of Nagash is taking more damage. They're still charging back in. It took even more damage from that one charge, and that's a very hard charge bonus, and they're beginning to make it crumble and fall apart. Now, Undead do not break, but they do crumble. Okay, let's go look at it real quick. It looks like they're still winning so far according to the balance of power, but we're about to find out. Albrecht has 159 kills. He's done very well. He's currently under attack by multiple units. We'll go into this little spectator view. Just gotta check things out real quick. You can see how it's all changing up right now. Those connoisseurs are so cool whenever they're fighting such a plentiful army. Undeath Resurgence is buffing up these orcs too. Tide is still alive. They're being buffed up. Okay, so we have just over a minute left. A Tormented Sword can be used over and over. It only needs to be cycled by a cooldown, but that's what makes it so powerful. You can't move and you get a debuff in your melee attack. So Lord Masamune couldn't move. I wonder if they're nearly out of magic. They might be. The Hippogriff Knights haven't lost one yet, but they're taking more damage now. They have nearly 300 kills. And really, I understand it. You want your Bretonnian units to be supported by a bunch of cheap units, but those cheap units are now gone, and yet the Orc and the Vampire players still have their cheap units to kind of fill that fodder role. But I cannot believe they had nearly 5,000 fighting. These Black Orcs are probably going to beat these Saurus warriors. I don't think they're going to get very far ahead. They're strong, but not that strong. Not like Black Orc strong. Okay. So the Queen is still alive. They keep cycling their charges with their Carnosaurs, which is a great idea. That's doing so much more damage to just like letting them sit in. Okay, one enemy or one Lord over here has fallen. It looks like we lost one of our buddies so far. Let's go look at who we have left right now. Let's see, where are you? Albrecht is still attacking. He's beginning to break right now. We've got Black Orcs nearby. What else are we looking at? Lord Mazdamundi is currently under attack and is about to die as well. So we lost Kimmler, who was in the midst of all that. He's very hard to keep track of. And the battle is pretty much over right now. And it does look like the Greenskins and the Vampire Counts won that battle. They were able to whittle down their foes, and with a great use of spellcasting, they were able to beat them. There were just too many for them to beat. Did they lose a lot? Yes, they lost a lot, but were they able to whittle them down? They were able to do that. Let's go look at it real quick. So yeah, I really feel like a huge issue here was mounted yeomen and the trebuchet. I probably would have nicked the trebuchet unless you have more artillery to truly support and make that worthwhile. That's just a huge pain to keep up with. The Wolf Rider Archers had an easy time taking out the mounted yeomen. The Blessed Pilgrims or the Battle Pilgrims, I mean, they can do a pretty alright job when fighting fodder, but not when fighting Black Orcs, which they did bring in. I mean, I would have certainly anticipated more Black Orcs for sure. So that was a great win on the part of Phyllis and Dunder, and Jack and Jog. You guys did a great job. That was a lot of fun to watch. Albrecht was a lot of fun. I cannot believe he did that well. I mean, I knew that he would do well, but I didn't really think he would do that well. Let's go look over here real quick. The Black Orcs did a lot of damage, especially this one group over here for 206 kills. Let's see. So they were just able to keep through that fight the entire time. I mean, their units broke, but they came back. Okay, for Dunder, we're looking at a lot of zombies who actually got a few kills here and there. That's all that you really need. Kimmler got 52 kills. I'm not sure if he brought in Krell. I have no idea. The Claw of Nagash was quite annoying for their foes, and that was a great call. So, again, they had meat shields. They had meat shields ready, and while our guys had quality, man, they couldn't break it down. But if you look at it, the Lizard Men were able to get a majority of the kills here. And looks like they had like more of an even spread of kills. Not only did you have Lord Mazdamundi, you had a bunch of powerful units. But to be fair, they were fighting zombies. Now, the Bretonnians were fighting goblins, sure, but they were being debuffed by all of that poison. Whereas those zombies didn't have all of that poison. So not only were they being debuffed, Black Orcs moved in. So we can see what happens when you bring in quality and you bring in quantity. And sometimes it works out for quality, other times it works out for quantity. Anyway, thank you for watching. Leave a like down below. And look forward to future battles in the future. And I did miss one unit, my bad. Again, I've got to like try to find every unit, but that was a huge fight, and it was Blood Dragon Warriors. And so those are highly elite guys, but we'll check them out in the future, I promise you. So go ahead and leave a like down below. Look forward to more later, and as always, until then.